Yeah. All right, appreciate everybody being here. We will go through our agenda. We had quite a few additions to the agenda. Get ready for our 6 o'clock council meeting. We will have a proclamation at the beginning of the meeting. Approval of minutes. There were no changes. Any questions? Set public hearings, Resolution 25-222, set public hearing for the abatement of unsafe conditions at 813 Austin Street Southwest for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 10 a.m. And Resolution 25-221, set public hearing for the abatement of unsafe conditions at 821 Austin Street Southwest for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 10 a.m. And that was the correct day we moved to. All right, any questions? Public hearings, Resolution 25-244, approve request for special retail liquor license more than 30 days for Responsible Partners LLC doing business as the Farmers Market Pavilion at 211 First Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolutions, Resolution 25-245, authorize the mayor to enter into community service and economic development contract for FY26.
Yes, Council. There was a minor change to this. There was an addition of a contract. The Convention and Visitors Bureau contract was added to this. It is the same setup as previous years. The only difference is it's an annual contract instead of a 4 or 5 year deal.
Okay. All right, any questions? Resolution 25-246, authorize mayor to accept for Children's Trust Fund Family Matters Grant.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 25-247, authorize mayor to accept All-Star Parents Grant from Children's Trust Fund.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 25-248, award bid 25029 to Grayson Carter and Son for labor and equipment, concrete construction, being the lowest responsible bidder. Any questions? Resolution 25-249, approve Cook's Pest Control annual contract for Hudson Memorial Bridge.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 25-250, award bid 25028 for construction of cell 17, the Decatur Morgan County Regional Landfill to Pickett Industries in the amount of $3,587,517. Any questions? Resolution 25-251, approved Decatur Recreation Center change order number 4. Any questions? Resolution 25-252, approved job classification and pay plan.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 25-253, approve a one-time pay increase for full-time employees.
No changes other than what I brought forward last week about the all versus the Nabisco.
Any questions? Resolution 25-254, approved delay for collection of updated license and excise tax on consumable vapor products.
They just moves it till October of next year, just like the state implements it then. So it just parallels what the state's doing on this.
Any questions? Resolution 25-256, authorize mayor to execute FY26 911 contract.
That was added, but it was a slight adjustment, but it's the same contract we've had for several years.
Any questions? Resolution 25-257, approve River Clay lease and use agreements of City Hall campus.
That's the same agreement we've had. It's October 24th through the 26th, using City Hall properties for that.
All right, Resolution 25-258, approve Rock the South Decatur investment incentive.
All right. I have something prepared to read, so I'll go ahead and do that here in the work session. Good evening, Council. In front of you is a resolution to confirm the planned obligations and understanding of the city related to the significant matter of having Rock the South move its annual event to Decatur, Alabama. The process started almost a year ago with Mr. Chase Grisham sharing this idea with me as he was planning events for the Spirit of America. Like any thought that gets presented to us, we listen. The idea quickly turned into the logistics, planning, and how this thing would work in Decatur. I want to compliment Mr. Shane Black because unlike a lot of development ideas that get presented to the city, Mr. Black's approach was not of why I'm the best or look at me. It was we want to come to Decatur and here's why. Shane Quick, sorry. Months of negotiating financial benefit, finding the right location, understanding the event, public safety, traffic, community engagement, you name it, and it was discussed. It has forwarded us to this point, and we could not be more excited to have this presented to you all this evening. I'll get to the meat of this without taking too much of your time on how this is significant. The financial commitment the city is proposing is $5 million over a 5-year term, $1 million per year, of which $1 million has already been committed by the Hospitality Board for the Room Occupancy Fund, Fund 10. Wow, that is a lot, and I agree, but here's why the risk is mitigated. Number one, the economic impact. An economic study was done in 2019 by Young Associates, and their report garnered the economic impact of Rock the South in Coleman, Alabama. It calculated a $13.4 million economic impact from year-round operations to produce and promote the festival, capital expenditures, and spending from visitors outside the 50-mile radius. In 2019, the event hosted 27,855 ticket holders, with approximately 90% of those visitors residing outside of Coleman County. I have estimated the city's portion of tax and fees to be collected from this event. Rock the South will generate additional sales tax, rental tax, lodging tax, parking revenues, business license revenue, gas tax, infrastructure upgrades, direct marketing, collaboration with small businesses. And these are just the direct impacts. The indirect stuff I will get to soon. Number two, this is not this organization's first rodeo. We are working with experts. Over the past year, these folks have done over 30 events across the country, and I was able to look at some of the economic impact that was provided from some of these events, not to mention they've held Rock the South for 15 years. They held a Rock the Country in Anderson, South Carolina. It had 21,000 patrons, garnishing 156 total new jobs, enhancing labor income nearly $4.6 million, and providing $15.8 million in total economic output. They had another event in Gonzales, Louisiana. It was a 2-day festival with 23,000 patrons, garnishing 78 total new jobs, enhancing labor income nearly $2.4 million, and providing $12.8 million in total economic output. And lastly, they had another Rock the Country in Ocala, Florida, a 2-day event with roughly 30,000 patrons, garnishing 78 total new jobs, enhancing labor income nearly $5.2 million, and providing $17.7 million in total economic output. Number three, the location. Situated on the northwest part of the city, the access to this property will garner improved efficiency for our patrons. I think I mentioned in 2019, 90% of those visitors were out-of-towners. Well, from the city's perspective, the majority of these out-of-towners, whether they spend the night with us or not, will have to drive down our thoroughways to get to the fields of Decatur. I find it similar to how grocery stores are conveniently situate the milk and eggs at the far back corner of the store, so that you have to walk by promotions, new items, or things you didn't know they sell, with the thought you may buy more than just milk. That's what will happen in Decatur. And let's not forget that Rock the South is only a portion of the year. These gentlemen own the property. They are successful entrepreneurs, and I know the site could potentially be the site of other amazing entertainment offerings outside the weeks of Rock the South. Lastly, Rock the South's commitment to grow. Well, what if they only have 15,000 people buy tickets? We need to remember that this is a business venture for Shane and his team. The excitement and buzz from the location change was enough for me to see that this will be the biggest Rock the South to date. They have already made it known that owning the property will garnish incredible benefits to the music festival goers. 150 acres they have already shared will expand the campgrounds, better accommodate weather events, and also bring a brand new fan zone that will feature a second stage. I will end by saying this. I have long heard that there is nothing to do in Decatur. Well, this investment proves otherwise. It is not every day you get the opportunity to increase your cool factor as a city. This is our chance to now show off, because there is a chance that Jane and John Doe from Indiana travel to your city for Rock the South weekend, love the restaurants, the parks, the people, and become your new neighbor. A well-planned investment, if you ask me.
Hey, Herman, I think I said this before, but tonight's vote would be it's similar to like an LOI, right? We're allowing the showing that there's intent for us to move forward, but it's really not, it's not a contract that will come later. Is that?
Well, what you're authorizing the mayor to develop an agreement to bring back to the city council. We anticipate that if you pass this resolution, that we would give notice this week of a hearing to be held October 20th to review that contract and approve a contract agreement with them. So yes.
Is my comparison accurate? An LOI type agreement is what we're looking at tonight?
Well, yes, the answer would be that you are incentivizing them to go forward. But the understanding that there will be a formal agreement entered into. So yes, I would say your analysis is correct after all that other rhetoric that I had.
All right, any questions, Kyle? All right, next is Resolution 25-259, approve signatories for warrant Series 2025A and warrant Series 2025B bank accounts, and that will go with the ordinance 25-4617, approval of GO warrants Series 2025A and GO warrants Series 2025B.
Yeah, this is the first reading of the ordinance that pertains to GO warrants Series 2025A and GO warrants Series 2025B. Series A is a tax-exempt series worth $30 million and an all-in total interest cost of 4.67%. Series B is worth $5 million and is a taxable series, and the all-in total interest cost of 4.71%. These rates are a product of favorable bond rating we received from S&P and Moody's. Both firms complemented the direction of the city and our overall significantly strong financial position. The funds are intended to support a 5-story parking deck, additional cost to complete the sportsplex, and other capital improvements approved by council. Mr. Birchall is here in attendance tonight if there are any specific legal questions that need to be addressed.
Okay, any questions on those two? And then the 2259, that is just the bank accounts.
That would be the bank accounts.
All right, any questions? All right, ordinances, ordinance 25-4615, approved franchise agreement for Unity Fiber Gulf Code.
Yeah, there's no change to that. That's just a related company that's already got a franchise with it. This is a related, as I said, company, and they'll both want to be able to lay fiber in our city.
Any questions? All right, boards and commissions, appoint Bobby Wilson to the Personnel Board with partial term of November 3rd, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, filling unexpired term of Pam Worsler, who was elected to City Council.
Yes, and when this person takes office or being retired, her position will be open on the personnel board, so that it's in place.
All right, any questions? All right, we'll get started at 6.
What do you say, Mr. Burchell? I'm on board with that. Even though it's a 5-day council, and even though I swear it over. We can
It seems way too complex for us to try to make what he wants to do. Leave it Wednesday. Is he good with that? Hey, Herman. Mayor mentioned something about those signatures. He wanted you to look over them first, and I said that Lee was going to leave them.
I'll let you look at Stephanie and he can probably look at it tomorrow. He can sign tomorrow. Just take it back.
I think we did that last time. All right. Herman, do not ask questions you know the answers to. Sir. Hey, can we talk about something more serious? Can we talk about something more serious? Them Blue Jays taking care of y'all Yankees. I haven't seen you today.
It's all right.
I forgot about that.
Maybe this one.
Fired? Doubtful. Isn't that the duty of manager?
There's a lot to do with it. Not this one.
We're mashing. That's the problem.
I'm talking about if we'd have
Mashing.
played one more game, y'all wouldn't be
Oh, you're talking about the...
overall.
Yeah, the season.
No, I congratulate y'all. Y'all killing us.
Well, long ways to go.
I haven't watched the game, but we're just pitching the ball over and y'all hit it.
So the first guy was that Louis Gill. And so the second they said it, he throws 80% four-seam fastballs. I went, we're going to win. And they just teed off. Now, I thought Freed, who doesn't throw a lot of fastballs, would.
He was left-handed.
And left-handed, to our defense, we have a lot of right-handed batters. And our manager, the two lefties we had in that were against Gill, he yanked out for righties.
Call manager.
Yeah. And they went off. I mean, it was 10-0 at one point.
I spent 9 hours in Chelsea yesterday. One
Texas me from Fulton at like 9:30. He still had 2 games to go. At 9:30 at night. So we were in Albertville, right? 3-team tournament. And they want to do double elimination. So I get every coach together and I said, just doing single elimination. I'm trying to beat your coach. Yeah, I don't know why. Blah, blah, blah. Sure enough, we got the double elimination taken away. We played with one single elimination stuff. It's pretty bad. Nice set.
10 rounds struck out. So that's all we're going to be talking about. Just by the change-ups this year. He struck a kid out on the change-up. Now he's just...
Call the meeting to order. Jeremy Sherrill will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Heavenly Father, we want to come before you tonight with thankful hearts. We are so grateful for every blessing of life, and they are everywhere when we choose to seek them out. We also recognize our deep need of you, and so we ask for your wisdom, for your guidance, to work together for the betterment of our city in a spirit of unity and brotherhood. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Here. 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 I'll turn it over to Chief Springer. We have a presentation. So.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and fellow citizens. Tonight we gather to recognize not only an act of bravery, but a moment that reminds us all of the quick power of thinking, courage, and the strength of human instinct when a life is on the line. On September 7th, while attending a child's birthday party with her daughter, Christy Williams found herself faced with a situation that could have ended in tragedy. In the middle of a joyful gathering, her attention caught a subtle but alarming sight. A child had unknowingly entered the deep end of the pool and was beginning to sink to the bottom. Without hesitation, Christy acted. She entered the pool, located the child beneath the water, and brought her to the surface, setting into motion the life-saving efforts that followed. Thanks to her swift action and the CPR performed by other bystanders, the child regained consciousness and was transported to the hospital for further care. Today, this child is alive and is fully recovered, undoubtedly due to Christy's immediate and courageous actions. Christy didn't just save a child's life. She spared a family from heartbreak, friends from grief, and first responders from a scene that could have ended very differently. Her bravery created a ripple effect of hope and healing instead of loss. Decatur Fire and Rescue is proud to present Ms. Christy Williams with a Department Challenge coin and a certificate of recognition which reads, "In honor of your swift and heroic actions in the near-drowning incident on September 7th of 2025, your courage, presence of mind, and instinct to act without hesitation reflect extraordinary character and deep compassion. In a moment of crisis, your actions prevented the loss of a precious life. With heartfelt gratitude and respect, we recognize and celebrate your bravery." In addition, Mayor Ty Bowling has signed an official proclamation recognizing and expressing the City of Decatur's deep appreciation for your heroic actions. Christy, on behalf of the City of Decatur, Decatur Fire and Rescue, and every citizen whose heart was touched by this story, we thank you. Your courage is an inspiration to us all, and tonight we honor you as the hero that you are. Please join me in recognizing Ms. Christy Williams.
Okay, I think there's a couple more people.
Thank you, Chief. All right, that's always a good way to start a meeting. Thank you. All right, we will move into our agenda, approval of minutes. We'll take all these together. A motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye. Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Masters.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye. Minutes are approved 5-0. Next is set public hearings, Resolution 25-222, set public hearing for the abatement of unsafe conditions at 813 Austin Street Southwest for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 10 a.m.
Yeah, Josh Sloan, Community Development. This property at 813 and also the one at 821 are owned and operated by the same individual. We've deemed these unsafe, and they have done nothing to abate the unsafe conditions, so we request you set it for public hearing.
Okay. Any questions on 25-222? All right, resolution 25-221, set public hearing for the abatement of unsafe conditions at 821 Austin Street Southwest for Monday, November 17th, 2025 at 10 a.m. I think we extended it, but you asked for an extension of the work
Correct.
session.
Yeah,
So
we
are-
sent another notice in hopes of getting something back from the owner, and we've received nothing from them, so.
Okay. All right, any questions? Thanks, Josh. Public hearings, resolution 25-244, approve request for special retail liquor license more than 30 days for Responsible Partners LLC doing business as the Farmers Market Pavilion at 211 First Avenue Southeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
Evening, council. This is for a special retail liquor license at the Farmers Market. The Responsible Partners LLC has met all requirements.
All right, this is a public hearing. We'll open the public hearing now. If there's anyone here to speak on this item. All right, seeing no one here to speak, we'll consider the public hearing closed. We have a motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Aye. Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye. Resolution 25-244 is approved 5-0. Resolution 25-245, authorize the mayor to enter into community service and economic development contracts for FY26. And we did have a request to take the young professionals contract separately and also both the Chamber of Commerce contracts separately. Except for those three. Okay, we'll take all the rest of them first. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster.
Aye.
Pepper.
Those contracts are approved 5-0. We'll take Young Professionals of Decatur next. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
McMaster. Pepper.
Young Professionals contract is approved 4-1, and then we can take both chamber. There's a regular allocation and then the 5-year.
Yes, sir.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
McMaster. Pepper.
Those two contracts are approved 4-1. Resolution 25-246, authorize mayor to accept for Children's Trust Fund Family Matters Grant. Alan?
Yeah, these are our yearly yearly grants that we receive from the Children's Trust Fund. So we're just asking your approval to accept these grants.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster. Pepper.
Resolution 25-246, approved 5-0. Resolution 25-247, authorize mayor to accept All-Star Parents Grant from Children's Trust Fund. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster. Pepper.
Resolution 25-247 is approved 5-0.
Thank you.
Resolution 25-248, award bid 25-029 to Grayson Carter and Son for labor and equipment and concrete construction, being the lowest responsible bidder. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Jeremy, we had 3 respondents.
Correct.
Anything to add?
No, we're just recommending Grayson Carter and Son for approval.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Platt.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster. Pepper.
Is there an anticipated start time, Chairman?
Not that I'm aware of. I know we're getting this in place for a lot of the patchwork that we have coming up, but I don't have a time. I don't have that for you.
Resolution 25-248 approved 5-0. Resolution 25-249 approved Cook's Pest Control annual contract for Hudson Memorial Bridge. So moved. Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. Pike.
This item is just to approve the Cook's Pest Control contract for the Hudson Memorial Bridge for rodent control in the amount of $6,300.
Lighting, protect the lighting.
Yes.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
McMaster. Pepper.
Resolution 25-249 is approved 5-0. Resolution 25-250, award bid 25-028 for construction of cell 17 at the Decatur Morgan County Regional Landfill Memorial to Pickett Industries in the amount of $3,587,517. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Wanda.
About 2 months ago, we had two respondents. And one was T&K Construction and also Pickett Industries. Pickett Industries was the lowest and responsible bidder. It's taken me this long to get to you because we just got the modified permit from ADEM, and we're asking for your approval tonight to award this bid for the construction of Cell 17 to Pickett Industries.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye. 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 Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 25-250 is approved 5-0. Resolution 25-251 approved Decatur Recreation Center change order number 4. So moved. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters.
The summary that you guys have that was on the agenda outlines and justifies change order number 4 in the amount of $101,440 with no increase to the project schedule. Each change was carefully reviewed and approved by the architect, contractor, and owner representative. These items represent necessary refinements discovered through coordination, shop drawing review, and unforeseen field conditions not contractor-driven extras. In each case, the scope was not included in the original bid documents because the design team had not yet issued final clarifications or because exact field conditions and equipment selections were not known at the time of bidding. Approving these changes now will prevent future conflicts, rework, or operational problems and will ensure that the facility is delivered safely, on schedule, and ready for long-term use.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Still looking good on budget.
Yeah, budget looks good. This is coming out of the contingency just like the last one. Everything looks good and is on schedule.
I supported this from the beginning and won't support it tonight.
I understand.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call. Aye. Aye.
Jackson. McMaster.
Aye. Aye. Resolution 25-251 is approved 4-1. Resolution 25-252 approved job classification and pay. So moved. Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. Pike. Michelle.
This is a resolution to modify the pay plan to change certain positions to a higher pay grade. Just police department hiring, which includes an adjustment to police pay all across the ranks in the police department. And it adds 2 steps to the pay grade and 2 ranges to the pay grade to accommodate those changes.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Does this mean that it'll take our employees 20 years to top out now?
Takes them, in the police department, it would take them 16 years because you get 2 steps in the first year, but we're moving them forward.
But this impacts
the whole system, yes.
System, so everybody else, it would take them 20 years to.
It would take them 17 years because in their first year, they move 3 steps. They hire in at a step, get a step at 6 months, and another step at a year.
So are we seeing that as a way to retain our employees?
We're seeing that as a way to accommodate pay changes in these grades and in the police department so that people who are topped out are not penalized for these changes.
I'm sorry. I just get so many concerns from employees who just say it takes them so long to top out and they're just not happy with that. So.
We hear that all the time, but we also say those same employees are making more today than they were 7 years ago because of this system.
I don't know that they see it that way.
I understand.
So I won't support it tonight because it's not what our employees want.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call. One question before we vote. This it seems to guarantee that they will receive a raise for how many straight years? A step raise, a merit increase?
A merit increase depends on where they hire in the range, but if they start at step 1, it takes 17.
So this adds 2 more years.
2 more years.
That they would get a raise.
To advance their pay at the top end, yes.
Did we not go from, was it 5% before and then it cut it down to 2.5%?
In the old system, it was 5% between steps in a system that didn't see COLA adjustments, and we had nearly 60% of employees who hadn't seen any pay raise at all in 10 years.
But that was the council's fault. I mean, we should have done that, but.
I wasn't on the council.
Well, the councils went for 10 years without doing that, so the onus was on the council. But again, if we had given the pay raise like we should have, and we had the 5%, now they're getting only 2.5%, that's what I think concerns the employees, that they're, you know, sitting there.
No, I just find it funny that you're talking about something you should have done, but you never done.
Well, let me
You don't
just-
support a pay raise. You don't support pay raises. You never have supported pay raises. We've
No.
tried several times throughout the past 5 years that we've been on the council. You don't support them. You spoke out against them several times. So I find it funny that you're doing it now.
No,
But-
let's be clear.
But no,
I did
continue
support
on.
pay raises, and I always have. But what I did was exactly what we're going to do tonight. In the past, what I've supported was a one-time big, larger pay increase, and the caveat to that was I was going to go with a smaller COLA, but a one-time larger pay increase. That was what. So you're wrong.
Yeah, pay bonus isn't going to benefit
You're
their
wrong.
retirement.
You're
A
wrong.
one-time $2,000 paycheck isn't going to benefit their retirement.
So are you going to vote no on the next one?
So the data says that since this administration has been in place, the average increase per employee has been 6.7%.
Yeah, but and what we did was, I think from 2008 until 2016, we did not give raises.
That's correct.
And that was a mistake on the council's part when I actually suggested that we give raises throughout that entire time. So
I do want to point out, because this always comes up about, and maybe I'm wrong, so correct me, but when you say that the council didn't give raises, it was people who were not topped out would have gotten a 5% raise in those years.
Under that system,
Yeah.
correct.
So there was no COLA, but they got a 5%
They got a merit
raise.
raise. They got a merit raise, and they're getting a merit raise with this, except it's not 5%, it's 2.5%. And where we were actually getting anywhere between a 1% and a 3% increase as a COLA prior to 2008. And so they got the COLA and that. And then in 2008, when the new council came in, they stopped doing that, and we went for several years without doing it.
Which we have kept it COLA. And this, I guess, the earnings potential is higher.
Absolutely, and kudos to this council for doing that, but it's still, again, we go back to where our employees get a 2.5% increase.
It's not sustainable.
Okay, whatever. We can move
All right, any other discussion? Sorry, second time I've done this. Would you say then it's even more critical to do COLAs? Since we're at 2.5%?
No, what I said to you over the last 3 years was that what I wanted to do was give a one-time pay increase. If an employee makes $40,000 a year, and we give a 2% COLA, that's $800 over a year's time. That's divided by 26 pay periods, which is taxed. So that employee is going to bring $20-something home per paycheck, more in their check. They don't actually see that. They won't give them a tank of gas. What I suggested was, and I think you recall this, was that we could give them maybe a very small, just so that their retirement is being impacted by, say, even a 1%. And that's not very much, but if we give them a $2,000 or $2,500 one-time pay increase at Christmas time, then those people who are struggling and have a little bit more, they're being impacted by the lower income, and they could use that at that particular time to help them through those times. So it balanced out. Well, it didn't balance out. The one-time pay increase gave the employees more, and they could actually utilize that. It would be in-hand money. So that
It gave them more right now, but not over a period of time.
But
No, as soon as they go into that retirement, a little 1% that you're going to give them over a 20-year period isn't going to make up to nothing.
But I guess my argument.
But what we've been getting is, go ahead.
My argument is you are getting a merit increase every year.
Well, yeah.
All right, any other? Right, and this gives 2 more steps where you would not be topped out.
But too, Jacob, what it does is it allows those employees, it takes them so much longer to get to their top out pay, and they're struggling to get to that point. And that's what our employees are saying.
But the earnings potential is higher at that 2 additional steps.
If they stay around.
If they stay.
How many
That's an issue. If you only do a one-time pay increase, you fall out of market relatively quickly, which is why at one point we have to do a 6% COLA to try to play some of the
catch up from where the council was
and let off COLAs.
from 08 to 2016, where they didn't give those raises. You're exactly right.
So was it also plausible that back then, if there, how many steps were there, 10?
At 10, at one point, there was an 11th step
If there were
added
10 or
before my
11,
time.
And if you went 8 years without a COLA, couldn't that, in theory, the employee who's topped out not see a raise or anything, and that want them to move to change jobs because of that? And did that happen?
That's not what I'm hearing, but what we're doing though is, well, that's not what I'm hearing.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's not what he's hearing.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call. Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 25-252 is approved 4-1. Resolution 25-253, approve a one-time pay increase for full-time employees. Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pepper. Any discussion?
Just want to clarify that that is for non-sworn personnel in the PD.
Any other discussion?
Mayor, I want
That
to
is
thank
not for non-sworn
you
personnel.
and the finance team and HR for figuring out a way to get this in the budget.
And Mr. Ladner. Thank you, Mr. Ladner, for your work on helping get this in the budget as well.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ladner worked really hard on getting this in the budget. CPL.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call. Aye.
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 Thank you.
Resolution 25-253 is approved 5-0. Resolution 25-254, approved delay for collection of updated license and excise tax on consumable vapor products.
That just basically parallels what the state's doing. There's a new tax frame that the state implemented last legislative session, and they're going to make their portion effective October 1st, 2026, and that's what we're going to do.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? I'll just say I will not support this. I would support it going into effect immediately and the tax being double what we're proposing. Any other discussion?
I agree.
Roll call? No.
Aye.
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 No.
Resolution 25-254 is approved with a vote of 3-2. Resolution 25-256, authorize mayor to execute FY 2026 911 contract.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Herman, this is just our annual.
It's our dispatch that we contract with the E911 board.
And the increase was?
I think it was 5%.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
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 Resolution 25-256 approved 5-0. Resolution 25-257 approved River Clay lease and use agreements of City Hall campus. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion?
Just I think it's great that River Clay continues to use this campus. I wish there were other events that were held here as well. It's a nice place to have it.
Thanks, Mayor. Any other discussion? Roll call. Aye.
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 Resolution 25-257 is approved 5-0. Resolution 25-258 approved Rockville South Decatur Investment and Incentive. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Kyle?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to add from what I shared at the work session. Just the Rock to South team is here if you have any specific questions that you'd like to have them address as well. So,
No specific questions, but gratitude. We're very grateful for what you guys are bringing to the city of Decatur and the work that you put in with the city of Decatur, and everybody that participated in making this deal possible is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the economic impact that it's going to bring to the city of Decatur, the growth that we're going to hopefully see in the city of Decatur from this event is going to be amazing. And we're super excited to have it here, super excited for it to come here.
And again, I'd like to thank the Hospitality Board for investing up to $1 million, or for investing $1 million into this. That's going to offset the city's incentive. They see the value in this. Just want to thank them.
Any other discussion?
Simply asking, we checked with Coleman to see what their tax increase was over the years that it was.
Have I checked with Coleman?
Yeah.
No, sir.
So we are not going to.
So what I did was calculate, so the economic report I received specific to Rock the South and Coleman, I took the data from there and plugged it into our specific tax rates, whether it's business license or alcohol or gas or sales tax, and using, estimating patrons, a lot of hypotheticals in there to determine how much I projected we could make from this in year one versus year 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that was the basis of where we felt comfortable with this package we worked with them on.
Do we know what the overtime impact is going to be for our police and fire?
We've had preliminary discussions already on public safety, and both chiefs are prepared to sit down with the Rock the South team to discuss traffic, public safety, and the conference. And I'm not going to speak for them, but was very favorable with trying to work with them to make sure this is a safe event.
Overtime numbers are, we can't project that yet.
We do not know those yet. No, sir.
Isn't this a multi-agency thing?
It will have Decatur Public Safety involved, but it will require other county and municipalities to contribute, from my understanding, in order to keep this thing safe with that many people coming to town.
I can appreciate that, but I guess what I'm concerned with is the amount of overtime that we're going to spend with our public works and police and fire and all the other entities, city entities that will have to contribute to that. So
I would argue that the money we will receive in sales tax and other various tax forms and the indirect things that we will receive from this event will offset said cost.
okay. In the scenario earlier, you were saying that when people come into town, when they pass by certain stores, that we would expect them and we think that they might stop at these places.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that. That's just speculation.
It is, but it's educated and very probable that they probably will. If they're going to spend a weekend in Decatur, Alabama, I would think they're going to spend. The economic reports show that people going to these events spend money in those communities.
But we also would make sales tax of anything they would purchase within the site as well.
Absolutely.
And I would like to say we thank a lot of people, but Chase Christian, Jeanette McCord, thank you all for your work on this as well. But Mayor Lawrence, I think Councilman Masters, a lot of people had a lot of parts of this. So appreciate everybody helped pull it together.
This resolution also says the city will use some of its public safety employees to supplement or coordinate the Rock the South. But there is no specific number there, no specific.
Well, I think it will have a lot to do with our current staffing position at the time, and it will be completely at the discretion of the chiefs to determine what and who will be going to serve.
Okay, so we're already short in our police department, and we're going to. Okay.
I would expect that our chief would not put our city in jeopardy by allowing too many officers to be at this event, that he would rely on supporting agencies to.
I would assume it'd be completely separate. It's going to be an overtime thing. The standard officers that are on the road, I'm assuming, are going to be patrolling like normal, focusing on their normal jobs and duties. These guys have been putting on this program for 13 years now?
15.
This is the 13th year?
15.
That's a long time. They've been doing this for a long time now. They've had great success out of this program. They've had great success out of it. Huge economic impact in the city of Coleman. Heck, you can't ask for a better deal coming to the city of Decatur. There should be no argument. There's no sustainable argument that you can have to not support this.
You just said huge economic impact, that we haven't seen those numbers.
I mean, we can assume off the reports that we've seen, I've shared with them, you can make a probable assumption that the similar festivals they've had across the Southeast would draw the same results here in Decatur, Alabama. Can't guarantee probable outcomes.
We see increases at Jubilee in tax revenue, smaller festivals.
I'll say this, I think this is good to bring a music festival to our city, bring a lot of people here, there's some opportunity. And I mentioned in the work session, I'm viewing tonight's vote more like an LOI, that we're literally the last section of it says we're asking the mayor to negotiate a contract. Anytime we do big economic development incentives, I always ask a couple of questions. One is the track record. Is there a history of success? We check that box, I think, here. The other is there a balance sheet to pull it off? Kind of go back to the previous check mark. I think so. I don't know so, but does whoever it is, whether they're building an expansion of the Cook Museum or they're going to build City Harbor on the river, do they have the checkbook to make it happen? The other is there's got to be, in my opinion, some protections for the city. And I think you do that by benchmarking. Any contract I've ever been a part of, there are things that have to be met by both sides, not just one. And so I think there's got to be some benchmarking of we're going to have X number of tickets that generated sales tax. We're going to have X number of cars that we're making 50% of that are parked at the site. Because if we just take what's in what we're looking at tonight, I'm going to vote for the yes tonight because it's, again, my thought is it's moving us forward to what a contract would look like. My concern is that if I'm reading it correctly, of course, everybody's going to say, well, they're never going to do that. And I agree. I don't think they will either. But in year 2, we could have again, I'm using extreme examples, I understand, but we, in theory, could have 100 people show up, someone play guitar for a few hours, and we owe $1 billion for that. That we've got, for me to support it on the 20th, there has got to be something that protects the city from a revenue standpoint. And I agree, they don't want to do what I just described anyway because they're not going to make any money. But we would be writing a check for $1 million when there's no guarantee of even 10,000 people showing up. So that, I think, is something that we need to look at as we move forward. There's got to be some protection for the city as we move forward. I think this is really good. I do. It's in my district, actually. But I think there are some things that need to be discussed in the contract negotiation for me to get to a point where I can support it. And it's all about just protecting the city's investment. That's it. So I just feel like we have a duty to do that.
Let me say this, and one thing that concerns me is that, and the best numbers that I could get, and I've got more numbers coming, was that in 2015 that Coleman paid them $150,000 for the same thing that we're paying $1 million for. That's 10 years ago. I understand inflation impact of this, but $150,000 is a long way from the first payment of $1.2 million. That concerns me. I don't know what the difference is that we would have to pay so much more here in Decatur. So those things concern me when I just look at this stuff. At this particular point, I just don't have enough information to go on this.
One other thing, and I failed to point this out, the third thing I look for is, say we do it, just like we talked about this with the parking deck for the Cook Museum expansion. I said, okay, if it all goes south and they don't build the expansion that they're planning on building, what do we have left? Well, in that case, we still have a parking deck. Okay, we still have some city infrastructure that can be helpful, that can be used for the future. And this one, I don't know what we've got if it doesn't deliver. All I know is that we've written a check for another $1 million. So, again, very exciting for our city. I think the video, the promotion has been really good. A lot of excitement from really all over the state, the region, maybe it's been all over the place. But there's got to be some things in the contract that protects us to some degree. I'm not saying we have to guarantee we break even, but something has got to be in there to protect us. So benchmarking and in anticipation of future payments. I do understand it takes a lot of capital to get these things up and running at the beginning. I get that. So, but I will support tonight. We'll see if I support it next time.
Yeah, that's good. Your analysis is correct. It's not an agreement until you vote for whatever we come back with.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other discussion?
I won't say anything because I want to get a vote. Let's go.
Roll call. Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 25-258 is approved 4-1. Resolution 25-259 approved signatories for warrant series 2025A and warrant series 2025B bank accounts. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. This kind of goes in with the ordinance we're going to read next.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is just gives you the ability to set up the bank accounts.
All right, ordinance, we have a motion and a second. Roll call. Aye.
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 Resolution 25-259 is approved 5-0. Ordinance is first reading. Ordinance 25-4617, approval of GO warrant series 2025A and GO warrants series 2025B. Any questions or discussion?
Is there a need for immediate consideration?
No. I wouldn't support it.
And I'll simply say that even when this comes up, I won't support that, but I was simply supporting the bank signatories, and I don't have a problem.
Yes, sir.
All right, ordinances. Ordinance 25-4615, approved franchise agreement for Unity Fiber Gulf Coast. Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call. Aye.
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 Ordinance 25-4615 is approved 5-0. Boards and commissions.
Say, John,
Sorry.
just real quick, there's been a budget that we just wrapped up, Rock the South, a lot of things that we're not even going to talk about, and then these warrants that you bring before us today. Finance, thank you for the job that y'all are doing, and for the city, we appreciate you. This is first class work. Thank you.
All right, boards and commissions. Appoint Bobby Wilson to the Personnel Board with partial term of November 3rd, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? I'll just say, no, Ms. Wilson, she's over all of HR for CCI. She also has a JD, immensely qualified, and also would thank Pam for her service on the board as well. But any other discussion? Roll call. Aye.
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 Bobby Wilson is approved for the partial term. We voted 5-0. Next council work session will be held on October 13th, 2025 at 5 p.m. Next regular council meeting will be held on October 20th, 2025 at 10 a.m. We do have one signed up for public comment, so we'll move into that now. Ms. Amanda Anthony. And just a reminder, 3 minutes, and you'll maybe hear something from Steph, and then we'll wrap up with 4 minutes.
When I heard the budget presentation, I was disappointed that there was not an allocation for Hands Across Decatur. Then I heard that Hands requested $19,000 but was denied. Then the news announced the city might give $1 million annually for Rock the South. If the city cannot afford $19,000, I don't understand how they can afford $5 million. As a Christian, I believe that we are called to help the least of us. Since the city says they don't have money to support Hands, it just really bothers me, because we do have a homeless issue in the city, and it's more and more every year. I volunteered with the Salvation Army back during the winter when they had their emergency shelter, and the people that stayed there were people that had absolutely nowhere else to go when we had freezing weather. I mean, the ones we had couldn't go stay with a family member or a friend. I mean, there's certainly more homeless than we saw, but that's who we had. At a couple of council meetings ago, y'all were talking about using some money from the opioid settlement for the Partnership for a Drug-Free Community or something. So I don't know why we couldn't use some of the money from that opioid settlement to help fund Hands Across Decatur.
It has to be directly, that specifically, to answer that question, has to be directly associated with opioid addiction and what they do.
Not just on the house.
It can be indirectly.
Okay, because certainly, some of the people I saw were under the influence. Some of them were, some of them weren't.
Well, that money could be used to assist under the programs that we're going to provide. That's a different question that you would ask there.
So it's still available, the service is still available to those residents.
Yeah, out of curiosity.
Through partnership with Drug Free America.
Do you know what the most common causes called? The two most common causes of homelessness is, out of curiosity? It's mental health and drug addiction. Those two things. Hands Across Decatur does nothing to combat those things.
Let me say this.
I have a personal experience with Hands Across Decatur. My father is an addict. Dealt with it for many years. My father was homeless. My father has mental health issues and was addicted to meth and heroin and every other drug on the block. He reached out to Hands Across Decatur several times. They did nothing to help him. They provided a warm meal on some days, but they did nothing to combat the issue. We have to find resources and utilize those resources properly to combat the actual issues and figure out what other underlying issues there are to solve that issue. But helping that organization is not going to be the cause. It's not going to be the answer.
Let me say this before you go on. I volunteer at Hands Across Decatur quite often, and if there was support here, I would support doing an appropriation for Hands Across Decatur.
And I absolutely believe, people, all humans deserve some basic services. And Hands Across Decatur would love to be an overnight shelter, but they can't because of zoning restrictions. Churches can't just house people because of zoning restrictions and their insurance, if they have insurance. So I know a lot of people online think, this person and that person should do something, but there's organizations that can't. Their hands are tied legally. They can't do it. So Hands Across Decatur meets they provide a certain level of services. What I saw at the Salvation Army, again, because it was temporary, but it requires a huge infrastructure. And they needed more investment in their infrastructure. I mean, it was a struggle to house and feed the people just the nights. It was freezing, the daytime and night when it was freezing. So I was wondering again if because we do know some of that homeless population are addicts, some are, if you could use some money from the opioid settlement, and also the city gets revenue from alcohol and cigarette taxes. Could some of that revenue go to it? But some of the folks do need some meals and a bed for the night, and I guess a warm place to sleep when it's winter and a cool place when it's summer. And that's what I'm asking.
Any comments?
So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything from directors I forgot to ask, or some left? Anything else from council? All right, we'll stand adjourned. Thanks.